This is my third video on the subject of what happened. I'll try to keep this under about 10 minutes. But one of the things that specifically pertains to the dignity of the people of the United States is belief in our right to privacy, provided that we're law-abiding citizens. The difference between a society that recognizes such rights of privacy and a society that doesn't is the difference between a mature, voting, dignified society and a society made up of leering, purient bullies. And as you know, what happened to me is indicative that the U.S. government is involved in human trafficking of children in the city of Pittsburgh. They tortured me. They attacked me blindside. And they used a chemical agent, a nerve agent for mind control. Nobody knew what was in there but them, to make me neurobedient. In this age of cyborg stories and robot stories and dialogues in classrooms, the old question of free will and determinism was made into an experiment of grave cruelty by a band called King Crimson and their fascist allies at the University of Pittsburgh, notoriously Will Wattenmaker in neurobehavioral research. The women who helped them had no shame. I was attacked in the privacy of my most intimate sensibilities, so they could humiliate and make a mockery of a neuroplastic head injury that had me in a semi-coma. And now they say that they are the adults, that they are the ones who are mature. And what is their notion of maturity? It's the wriggling finger of the parochial, prying and seething and demanding stories about being brutally molested as a child for the entertainment of these recreational sadists who are pedophiles. Rick Santorum parades as this man of conservative bearing, and yet he tormented me because I was battered into the custody of adult mutilationists who did things to me that were so degrading I couldn't bring myself to speak of them. And he made it sound and look as if I was hiding something that incriminated me rather than the U.S. government for operating this kind of practice. And it led to Mount Desert Island, where I proved that they premeditated AIDS as an attack. And none of the rotten, stinking people in British prog rock who came here with their song and dance about romantic freedom, who kicked open the doors of young minds and demanded their surrender to sex and drugs, said anything at all except things like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And if Hero had met Archimedes, there would not have been a population explosion, because the Industrial Revolution would have intercepted it eons ago. Well, that says a little bit to us about what their notions are for the future, which of course is the perpetuation of the ruling class. I have called upon Native Americans to take on the ideological criminal Steve Hawking, who wants 1,000-year Reich of corporate science dominion to get us off the planet or something. This is a very grave testimonial, because I know for a fact that AIDS was an attack and I can prove it, and they won't let me prove it. They have tried to destroy the evidence. They have tried to threaten me into stopping from telling people. Their whole game is a wall of sound, flashing lights of total blackout. They won't let the story into the news. Lie after cowardly lie they depict as though it's their professional honor code to lie and lie and lie. I must tell you, they have been extraordinarily ruthless. But one of the most amazing acts of ruthlessness was the involvement of the Black Mafia in a war game over Midori Goto known as Two Virgins Pussy Ball. This is what gave away that John Lennon set it up and faked his own death. They were wizards of this sort of thing. It was a fake news project to go along and sort of enchant people with AIDS that they were part of a generational history, and to cooperate with what was being done. It's all very mysterious until you penetrate that cloak and dagger show known as Pentagon Disney. I'm an available person. I was a library clerk. I can show anybody any of this stuff, and I made the attempt to. There's a lot to be said, and there's a lot to show about what happened. And I have blogged, worked, and I intend to continue blog working, and I found some friends and fairly decent human beings who are willing to work with it in the spirit of trust and cooperation, checks and balances and so forth, verification, all the things that are very important to a mature and intelligent and reasonable person. And the power structure has descended upon me like Blade Runners. They've sent in these gigantic figures of horrible sadism, like Peter Gabriel, this madman who sends people to rape legally child woman because she was trying to help me, rip her to death, an innocent bystander, to make sure that you understand the principle of Paul McCartney's penny and all this other stuff that comes out of the sadistic, weird mind of Yoko Ono and her sick museum mafia in Pittsburgh. I promised I would keep this under 10 minutes. I feel there's a lot left to be said, but to be truthful, I want to stop with these videos because I know you can read. I would like to use my video machine to record my poems. My heart is in my poems. But what comes first is the right that people have to know in a timely way what the heck is going on.